Right, so we're diving into Michael Connelly's The Waiting. This one's got both Renée Ballard and Harry Bosch.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Connelly always delivers a good crime novel, but
Yeah.
this one just feels different, you know?
I know exactly what you mean.
Like cold cases, LAPD politics, Bosch facing his age. It's all kind of...
Heavy stuff.
Yeah. But for those who haven't read much Connelly,
Right.
remind us who these characters are, really.
Okay, so Ballard and Bosch, they're like two sides of the same coin.
Oh, I like that.
She's all ambition, young, driven to get justice, even when the system's forgotten the victims.
Cold case thing, right?
Exactly. And Bosch, he's the veteran haunted by the cases that got away, still sharp, but...
He's got to be getting up there in years.
Oh, yeah. Connelly doesn't shy away from that.
Which is interesting because the whole cold case division, it's kind of like a dumping ground, isn't it?
Absolutely. Underfunded, understaffed, like those forgotten cases themselves.
Whoa. Okay, so you're saying Connelly's doing something deliberate there?
I think so. It's like he's using that setting to show us these bigger societal problems, you know?
Like the cases are just symptoms.
Yeah, symptoms of something broken in the system.
And then Ballard pulls Bosch out of retirement for this double homicide.
Bold move, right?
Super bold. Why do you think she did that?
Well, she needs his experience, for sure, his knowledge of the city, how he sees connections, but
There's more to it.
I think she's drawn to his reputation, too, you know? This guy who always fights for justice, even if it bends the rules.
So, like, she sees a kindred spirit.
Yeah, someone who gets the weight of these forgotten cases.
Okay, so that brings us to the title, The Waiting. On the surface, it's...
I mean, it's obvious.
Victims' families, waiting cases unsolved. What else is going on there?
I think Connelly's getting at how people deal with waiting. The choices they make. Bosch, it's him facing his past, his age. Ballard, it's proving herself in this system that doesn't take her seriously.
So it's internal and external waiting.
Exactly. And Connelly is a master at this. He puts you right there in LA.
Oh, his descriptions are amazing.
The best. And he uses real locations, too, weaves in history. It's like another layer for people who know the city.
Whoa, hold on. So you're saying the city itself is like...
Almost like a character, yeah.
bearing witness to these crimes.
That's a great way to put it. And this is where Connelly gets really interesting with the moral ambiguity.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that one.
So we're rooting for Ballard to break the rules, right? To get justice. But how far is too far? Where's the line?
And we see Bosch struggling with that, too.
Absolutely. He's carrying the weight of all those cases he couldn't solve.
It's like they're both trapped by the system in a way.
Yeah, trying to find their own way to make things right.
So we've got this sense of decay. A city haunted by its past. These two very different detectives. Now, without spoilers, what actually happens in the book?
Buckle up. Okay, the investigation. It goes places you don't expect. Pulls in some stuff from Bosch's past cases.
Oh, longtime fans are going to love that.
Totally. And Ballard and Bosch, they clash, but they learn from each other, too. Their dynamic is amazing.
And the ending.
Tense, satisfying, but not what you think. It'll leave you thinking, for sure.
I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah.
So what stands out to you so far? What's got you hooked?
For me, it's the way Connelly uses the structure of the book. It's like the past cases are another form of waiting, lingering in the background.
Oh, I like that. That sense of unfinished business. It's everywhere in this book.
Exactly.
And we'll dig into all of that more in just a bit.
Can't wait. It's like those past cases are almost another character, you know? Like they're there in the shadows.
Right. Always looming over everything.
Yeah. And it really makes you think about how Bosch and Ballard deal with time. You've got Bosch facing his own mortality, his past, and then there's Ballard.
Younger generation, different priorities.
Exactly. She's all about making her mark. But you can see those cracks starting to show, like the system's wearing her down, too.
It's that contrast that really gets me. Their dynamic is fascinating.
Oh, for sure. Connelly sets them up as these foils to each other. Bosch is weary, almost disillusioned.
And Ballard's still got that fire, that idealism.
But she's starting to see the reality of the job. The same stuff Bosch has been dealing with forever.
So they're both kind of asking the same question. How do you stay true to yourself in this system?
Exactly. It's about integrity, commitment to justice, even when the system's working against you.
And that's something everyone can relate to, right? Not just cops.
Absolutely. It's about navigating those gray areas in life. How do we hold on to our ideals when the world's so messy?
And Connelly doesn't give us easy answers.
Nope. He throws us right into those tough situations where the lines get blurred.
And he makes us ASK those questions.
Right. Like, what would W.E. do in that situation? It's challenging.
And I think that's what makes him such a great writer. He's not just entertaining us.
He makes you think.
Yeah,
To confront those uncomfortable truths.
while also giving us this incredibly vivid picture of L.A.
Oh, his descriptions are amazing.
Hmm.
You feel like you're right there with them smelling the smog.
Yeah, it's more than just a backdrop. It's like another character.
Totally. He uses real places, weaves in history. It all adds to the atmosphere.
Speaking of atmosphere, you know what I find really interesting? How Connelly uses L.A. to talk about bigger issues,
Go on.
like the decay in the LAPD. The way those cold cases were ignored. It's like he's saying there's this apathy in society.
You're picking up on something there. It's about more than just solving a crime. It's about the systems that allow these things to happen.
Right. And those systems, they can be anywhere.
Exactly. So we've talked characters, setting, themes, but what about Connelly's writing itself? What stands out to you?
His precision, I think. He chooses his words so carefully. Every detail matters.
Yeah, he doesn't waste a single word, but he still paints these incredibly vivid pictures.
And the pacing.
Yeah.
He's a master at building tension. You get pulled in slowly.
But it never feels slow, you know?
Exactly.
It's deliberate.
And he manages to make even the boring procedural stuff interesting.
Like you're actually there in the room with them.
Dusting for fingerprints.
Totally. It's like he's inviting us to be detectives alongside them.
And that's what makes it so addictive. You can't put it down. Okay, so what about you? What aspects of his writing really grab you?
It's the way he makes you feel the weight of these cases, you know? The human cost.
Oh, yeah. Connelly never lets you forget that these are real people whose lives were shattered.
And he shows how that impacts everyone, the families, the cops even.
Especially Bosch, I think.
Hmm.
You really see his empathy in this one.
Oh, absolutely. He's always been driven by that. But in the waiting, it's almost like it's more personal.
Like it's hitting closer to home now that he's older.
Makes you wonder, can you ever really find peace when you've seen so much darkness?
That's a tough question. And Connelly doesn't shy away from it.
He forces Bosch and us to confront the limits of justice, you know? That sometimes even when you do your best, it's not enough.
It's heavy stuff.
But it's important.
And that's what makes this book so powerful. It's not just a thriller. It's a story about the gray areas of life, the choices we make when things are tough.
And it's like those ripples. They just keep spreading, you know?
Yeah.
Touching everyone.
Yeah, it's like a stone dropped in a pond. The impact keeps going outward. And for Bosch, it feels like it's all kind of catching up to him in this one.
It's like all those years on the job, all those cases, they're finally taking their toll.
Yeah, he's always had that empathy for the victims. But now,
It's different, more personal.
like, it's hitting him on a deeper level.
I think Connelly's showing us what happens to someone like Bosch, you know? Someone who's seen so much darkness.
Can they ever really find peace?
That's the question, isn't it? And it's one Connelly makes us wrestle with.
Yeah, he forces Bosch and the reader to face those limits.
So limits of justice, the fact that sometimes you do your best and it's still not enough.
It's tough, but it feels real, you know?
That's what I love about Connelly. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He shows us the world as it is.
Warts and all.
And the waiting, it's not just a crime story. It's about so much more.
The impact of trauma, the choices we make, the gray areas of life.
Exactly. It stays with you long after you finish the last page.
So for our listener who's been with us on this deep dive, what's the one thing you hope they take away from the waiting?
You know, I think it's this. Even in a world that feels broken, where the system fails, where justice is hard to find,
There's still hope.
yeah, there are still people fighting the good fight. People like Bosch and Ballard who never give up.
Those beacons of light in the darkness.
Exactly. And that's a powerful message, I think. We need that.
We do. So to our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the waiting. It's been a fascinating journey.
Absolutely. And we hope you'll pick up the book and experience it for yourself.
See what you think. Wrestle with those questions Connelly throws at us.
And let us know what you come up with. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Until next time, keep exploring those deeper layers. Keep asking those tough questions and keep the conversation going.
We'll see you back here soon for another deep dive.